Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS. If you're new, welcome, and welcome back KS family. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin currently is down 16.18% to 22,903. Ethereum is down 17.05% to 1223. On a day like today, you'd be forgiven for thinking there's no way that anybody can make profit in this market. From my 30 plus years inside financial markets, I explain the smart money mindset to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, gaining real wealth in the process. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. Please consider sharing and liking this video, and also subscribing to the channel. We would love to have you as a part of our globally extended KS family. What we've just done together is look through the different categorizations and different sectors of the cryptocurrency market. It's incredibly important to understand day by day how this market moves. There are always opportunities, and those opportunities reset daily. On a day like today, it could be almost impossible to think that there was money to be made in crypto, but there is always money to be made in crypto. I've left helpful links in the description of this video, such as the masterclass, the tax software I use, and you can always reach out and directly message me on Twitter at any time. If you're going through a life pullback at the moment, our beloved community's love and healing thoughts are with you. You're not alone. There's always hope, and the sun will come out again. I believe one of the greatest superpowers you'll ever experience in life is having an open mind and learning. Life tends to throw so many curveballs at us, but if we step back, we often see that the most dark days are actually the brightest, but we can only see after the event. That's why, as crypto technical analysts, we're dedicated to positive excellence and maintaining real wealth foundations, such as integrity, decency, gratitude, happiness, inner and outer peace, kindness. These things may sound really academic on today's date when we see the crypto market selling off, but they're actually more important than ever. Without learning, you get stuck, and if you get stuck, you'll lose money. A big part of learning is actually forgiveness, and forgiveness for ourselves, not for others. It's really important to be kind to yourself, but as you're being kind to yourself, please be kind to others. It's critically important. I believe one of the greatest things that I can help you with is to move out of any retail thinking, and retail thinking is really insidious because it's emotionally driven. If you're feeling emotions like panic or denial or capitulation, there is a better way, and that way is the smart money way. But so few people actually make this transition across to smart money. I believe it's because not a lot of people talk about it, and they don't talk about the bridges that you need to take to get there. Smart money actually focuses on percentages, and I'm going to show you a trade that was made under current market conditions that yielded a fairly reasonable result. And it's important to be on the right side of the percentage. Even you can be on the wrong side of the trade, but if you're on the right side of the percentage and you use the CTKS method and mark up your charts and have the knowledge as to know when to buy and sell, you can actually make money in any market. A lot of people, when they get set with losses, they actually revenge trade. This is a really, really bad idea. You can't make the money back as you want to. You must rely on the market's timing. You control your trade and investment, and the market controls your return. It's also important to understand that investing is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's actually a profession, so you don't want to get over enthusiastic. Just go step by step. Rule 760, start small and scale. The 10% per week rule is a very powerful rule. It doesn't mean that you should make 10% per week. What it actually does is explain when you make small percentages just over regular periods of time, they really add up into incredible gains. and I'm going to show you trades across this week so that you can see that it is not only possible, it's possible in market conditions like this. For example, if you put $1,000 in and you made a 10% return, you would have an extra $100 or $1,100 overall. If you made this within the span of a week and kept on doing that, you get a return of 11,639% over the year, which would turn $1,000 into $117,000. This is really important to understand. A lot of people are going for the 10x, 20x. You don't need to do that. You take the pressure off yourself. And if you have the knowledge, the rules, the patience, the real wealth, positive excellence focus, and you get on the right side of the percentage, you can do this, and I'll prove it to you. Let's have a look at theta. What did we see here? 1 day and 16 hours. You can see the various trades here, and I always make sure that I always share the actual results with you. So what do we see? That we actually bought at 114, 112 and 104, and we sold at 121.8. You can see the variety of different buys here, getting on the right side of the percentage. Within 1 day and 16 hours, we sold out up here at 121. And what did that actually make us? That made us a 10% return. Now, was that within the span of a week? No, it was just a little over, well, just a little under 2 days. And what would that actually mean as a percentage annualized return if we were just doing that all the time? And I don't suggest that we can do it all the time, and that's not the purpose of the 10% per week rule. Just like BORSOG is not to buy every red and sell every green. These are ideas and concepts, but when you look at the annualized return, it's something absolutely ludicrous. But it's important to understand that if you make a small percentage and you can just turn it over, even in market conditions like this, where Bitcoin is coming down and down and down, but you know how to look at the market because you've been through the masterclass, you know how to assess things, you know how to draw your support and resistance levels, you know what support and resistance really means under exponential price action. You can do this too. And these are just small levels, just starting small and scaling. But if this is a large level to you, there's nothing wrong with putting $1 in or $5 in to the market. Why is that? Because you have to learn how to handle your emotional state. And there's nothing so good as being realistic, but never risk more than you can afford to lose. And I'll be sharing trades 1 per day across the rest of this week. And the other thing, if this is very, very little money to you, you can just scale up. And this is the key in all of crypto. You've got a ready-made market with buyers and sellers. You just have to understand how to approach it from a professional level, how to get away from the retail mindset, because the retail mindset will have you hiding under a bed right now, and the professional mindset will have you leaning into the market. So how do you learn these talents, these skills? Crypto technical analysts go through the masterclass. These are all components of the masterclass. And what do? They scientifically track investor attention. And investor attention is measured by price, which is reality, not future promises. We do so many different things. First of all, we understand that if we don't have the knowledge, we're going to make losses. And even if you do have the knowledge, the markets have a cover charge. They have a kind of a tax. If you're in there, you're going to make losses. It's just the way. But if you know what to do, you'll make those losses back and more. The first thing we do is to mark up our charts with the CTKS method, which is a specifically designed method to capture exponential price action. Then we look to outside trends, being like a really good detective, checking world events, collecting probabilities. Then we come back into the crypto market, understanding, just like in life, opportunities reset daily. And it's really beautiful to keep that in mind. It doesn't matter how red the market looks. I'm going to show you and I'm going to prove to you that you can make money every single day. But you have to have the knowledge. And finding the market's focus is incredibly important. Enhancing your pattern recognition is also critical. Before you buy or you sell, a real wealth, positive excellence focus is incredibly important. A lot of people think that it's just about a buy level and a sell level. I can tell you, after more than 3 decades in the market, it has got nothing to do with buy levels and sell levels. It primarily has to do with emotional control and being professional, or else literally on red days you'll run away when you should be entering. But you need to know how to enter. It's not just a question of throwing money at just everything. You must be careful with what you do. And even then, depending on what kind of buying or selling you're doing, accumulation trading is literally like hodling. But we in the Masterclass hodl in a completely different way than just about everybody else. We expect massive drawdowns. That's because crypto is one of the most volatile markets on the planet, but you can use that volatility to BORSOG in, buy on red and sell on green. And it's a very, very effective tool, but you must know what you're doing. In the previous video, we talked about what is gratitude and what does it mean to you. We're going to talk about that throughout this video, but I just wanted to say and reach out to say thank you to Flamingo. Flamingo said, "There were beautiful comments. A genuinely kind community gathers here, and this is our global family. We're very, very welcoming and very kind." What you'll find is Rule 359 is really powerful. Be on the right side of the percentage. You can be on the wrong side of the trade, but if you're on the right side of the percentage and you know how to BORSOG, you will do really, really well. Let's have a look at the greatest gainers over the past 24 hours. We can see Theta up 4.64%, Mana up 2.95%, Phantom 0.53%, and then we get into stable coins. Going the other way around, the greatest losers over the past 24 hours, CRV down 19.75%, NEO down 19.61%, Rune down 19.11%, Clay 17.76%, Aave 17.62%, Stacks 17.32%. So what happened to the crypto market? We answer that with Rule 45. No alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. Having a look at Bitcoin, we've seen there's been a massive climactic sell-off, and even so, there is always profit within the market, like I just showed you. That trade that I showed you previously was made inside a market that was absolutely tanking. It is possible, and that is really important for you to understand and to embrace. What we saw yesterday is the market starting to melt down, and many people thought it would come down to C or to D, and they were pretty much accurate. And that's why it's really good to read through the comments. They give you a lot of context on the market, and we have many, many experienced people that comment each day. And what do we look at? Where is the primary support now? Of course, there's a level of support at D, 22,137. Bitcoin is currently 22,922. And there's a very major level of support at 20,512, which is about 10.53% away. So what actually happened? When we turned the NASDAQ 100 futures on, we can see the NASDAQ came down. And what is it doing right now? It's just doing a bit of a blip up. We would expect Bitcoin and the crypto market to follow this blip. Let's have a look at the longs and the shorts. The longs are here measured in green. They've been exponentially buying that dip, and the shorts have lost a lot of confidence, come out of the market. Now, what is actually happening? So we can see the longs leveling off. They've been hit quite substantially. And what about the shorts? They're not really having the confidence to go all in and more, which is always a good thing. One potential reason is when you look at the RSI, you can see the RSI is trending down to very, very oversold territory. When it gets too oversold, what happens? We find a bottom. So the shorts are pretty smart because they have unlimited loss. Over the past 24 hours, we've seen 1.07 billion in liquidations across 272,971 positions. That's a lot of people liquidated. This is why we say, please don't leverage trade until you are an absolute professional. What does a professional mean? It means they know how to do consistent profitability inside the market. And often what happens is that the most professional investors and traders are not gamblers. Gamblers, you can win all the races and lose the last and end up with nothing. And professionals know that. So what we see over the past 24 hours with total liquidations, 61.21% were long. What about the past 12 hours? About 52%. What about the past 4 hours? 54%. What about the past hour? 76% long, all long liquidations. Let's have a look at our chart and see what's cooking. You can see there's always short liquidations and long liquidations. This is why you've got to be really, really careful with leverage. If you're just getting into the market, you will find that if you go long and short to try and hedge, you'll probably get taken out in both directions and wipe your account out. It's really tragic, but it's the dark side of leverage. At times like this, it's really important to contextualize money. Your value is shared happiness, not money made, says Al. Thank you, Al. Absolutely loves that quote. It sums up so much about what is truly important in life. You asked about gratitude. What does it mean? I equate it to having a grateful attitude. Nice one, Al. When you experience it, you can't help but respond with feelings of kindness, love, and generosity. Gratitude makes everything better, your physical, emotional, and mental health, which improves your relationships at home and at work. Did I mention it was contagious? When you pay it forward, it leads to others spreading kindness, love, generosity, and shared happiness. I've always counted my blessings before bed, says Al. Thanks to a suggestion in the masterclass, I've added an extra minute or two in the morning as well. It's also been a blessing. Thank you, Al, for sharing. And you might be going through a bit of trauma at the moment because the markets are so incredibly red. And you can look at it as a learning experience. It's a harsh one, but believe me, everybody who's stayed in the market for any period of time is being and gone through what you are going through now. It is literally an initiation rite. It is a rite of passage. If you're going through it, stand strong. You belong here. Professionals always make 3 in advance probabilistic decisions. They know what they will do if their portfolio goes in their direction, goes against them, or goes nowhere. And they also know what to do with any specific trade. And we all know that all investors become traders anytime they buy or sell. The investor's journey combines the strengths of an investor and a trader to become an investator. And it's really important. I always think about Arnold whenever I say that word. When people start off, they say, I'm an investor, and they hold on for dear life. They get caught up in the news and the FUD and FOMO, but the problem is it's all fear. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and fear of missing out. But it's all fear. It's that emotional roller coaster the professionals step away from. Also, what typically happens is that investors go typically all in or all out, and they seek to buy on green, which pushes the percentage against them. And they're told to go all in or go all out, not do anything in layers. And they're also told to buy the bottom and sell the top. But they can buy, but they don't know how to sell. And selling can be really difficult, especially if you're driven by fear. Fear of missing out is a very dangerous thing. Investors, when they get into any market, they expect to make life-changing returns, but not for that much effort. Certainly, we have some investors who go in with a commitment, but a lot of investors go in like it's a gamble. And you can see with the 10% per week concept idea, you can do really, really well over time. And it's just like having a store You treat your cryptos as products and you turn them over when you're trading. One thing that people get caught up with is minimizing tax. They want to hold on as long as possible because they want to minimize their tax. When you actually focus on tax, I would suggest you're focusing on the wrong side of the equation. Focus on making money. Paying tax just means you've done really well. Over time, people become aware of trading, and then they understand that all investors become traders anytime they buy or sell. This is incredibly important to understand. As many investors just say, I'm not greedy, I'm in it for the long term, I'll just buy at market and I'll go all in right now, and then price tanks 20%. This is actually the inherent volatility of the crypto market. This is why we buy in layers, but we also mark up our charts. Then people start to actually see themselves as part investor, part trader. And what I believe is we're heading into pretty much a trader's market where we'll need to be actually sharp and bank in opportunities. So traders are all about buying on red, selling on green, using volatility as their best friend, timing the market. They go independent of the news because they understand the news forces people to buy at the top and forces people to sell at the bottom. So why would you even bother looking at it? Instead, we actually use the charts to tell us the news. And we use the CTKS method to mark up our charts. Then we get into these three-way decisions. We understand the 10-5-10 rule. When price comes down 50% and it goes back up and restores its price, it just went up 100%. That is pretty good stuff. And the 10% per week rule actually yields a very strong return over time. And you'll see all of this week I'll be providing trades to you, which are just small trades, but they show the concept. You need to understand the idea, and they're small for a reason. If they were very large, people would be put off. If they're small and accessible, you know you can do it. So we go from slow and steady with trading, and we move away from the big hit, making it big, getting rich quick. Because if you get rich quick, you'll probably get poor quick as well. We need to actually build the strength to sustain your success over time. And that's what positive excellence and real wealth is all about. You can't hold more money than your personality can bear. Positive excellence is so incredibly important. And this is just the journey of all investors. They become traders because trading will allow you to trade any market. Traders always create rules, and rule 225 is a pretty important rule. Bitcoin cannot escape the stock market's gravity. Masterclass students, you'll get my live chart in TM6, and you'll notice I've added in the RSI on all of these charts. I want to give you an understanding of overbought and oversold levels. For example, when you look at the dollar, it's very, very overbought at the moment. It's gone absolutely parabolic. What do we know about when price goes up in a lift, in the elevator? It will typically come down the stairs, and if it's too sharp, it will reflect. So just be mindful of that. Okay, let's have a look at the VIX, the fear index. Fear spiked. It literally jumped up to a level we anticipated to jump up at some stage. And now what's happening now? This spike in fear caused the market to gap down and to sell down. And that gravity, the stock market's gravity, took the entire global market system with it, including Bitcoin. And it's really important to understand how markets are intercorrelated and interconnected. We can see bond prices literally fell through the floor and bond yields rose up through the ceiling. Look at this. Gold decided to just have a party and go down, have a negative party, as the dollar was spiking up. And we typically see this relationship because the dollar typically moves gold in the opposite direction. I say typically because it doesn't always. And we saw a bit of a spike in oil prices as well. And when we look at the put-call ratio, we can see undeniably that people are getting more pessimistic about the market. If we zoom in on the Nasdaq, we can see it's come down over 32% and it's hitting a level of support going back to October 20, November 20 from July 20. So about July 20 to around November of 2020. It's just got a lot of support here at the moment. And it's crashed through quite a few levels of support because this was a fairly high support zone. I've just moved that down to just show you very, very clearly the bottom edge of that zone. The thing to bear in mind, smart money, well, institutions more so, they're always trying to put everybody on the wrong side of the trade. They want prices to go down because they understand percentages and how they work. I'll just give you an illustration. If price falls 50%, when it actually restores that level, it comes back up 100%. Now, these are not exact because it's really hard to flow in and out, but you will understand the concept. And this is what smart money knows. The more that they can push down the percentage, the more they actually make. And this is why smart money is always negatively biasing price action. All of these biases are to actually create a percentage that moves in their direction. We want that percentage to move in our direction. That's what CTKS is all about. So I just wanted you to bear in mind that there is still support under this current price. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. How do you see the markets playing out? If you're in the stock market or just in the crypto market, and I'm just personally in the crypto market, you'll find that what Art said is very, very good. BORSOG is the key strategy at the moment. Could price go lower? Yes, as always. But at some point, price will bottom and we will regret not buying at the bottom. So I'm buying at every low opportunity presented. Thank you, Art, for sharing. When we look at Bitcoin compared to inflation expectations, we can see the annual inflation rate has come in at 8.6%. It's just been updated today, and it was previously at 8.3. Masterclass students, you'll get my live chart in TM4. What we can also see is the 10-year break-even inflation rate is currently at 2.74. And the 5-year break-even inflation rate is at 3.11. We can see that there's more short-term inflation expected through the charts and less long-term inflation. This is really important to keep our eyes on. And we can see that the Nasdaq and Bitcoin have broken below that support level. Gianluca talked about gratitude is feeling enough within ourselves, cutting out all the fluff that gets in between. It's the expression of our true self. Thanks so much, Gianluca. Very beautiful. As promised yesterday, I released LV19 for the Masterclass students, which has my live chart here. I also updated it with the recession indicator that I created. What we can see is that as the US markets fall, it drags every asset class with it. Look at Japan's index, drag down. Australia's drag down. Russia getting very close to breaking that floor. Germany, drag down. The UK, drag down. China, drag down. This is why we must keep our eye on the US economy. But even so, because things are dragged down, a lot of people think there are no opportunities. There are always opportunities inside the market, and I'll be sharing one opportunity each day, just like I shared today and yesterday. I'd like to read a quote from Purpuratum. Very beautiful quote. Being kind to ourselves and others generates gratitude, which in turn brings us happiness and contentment. Being grateful for each day is balm for the soul and opens our eyes to the abundance of hidden tidbits of life. Very beautiful. And Crypto Turtle said, I see red and am excited to BORSOG, because Purpuratum said, wish everyone an exciting week with great BORSOG deals. And Badger, you are a blessing, he said to Purpuratum. Thank you for sharing. This is our community, just full of beautiful, wonderful people. A lot of people are hurting in the market right now, and it kind of reminds me when I was diagnosed in the US with brain cancer and told my body would die in 3 months, but I had effectively 4 weeks to live. I remember after that particular diagnosis from the doctors, I just walked outside and I saw the sun. As if I'd seen the sun for the first time. I just saw beauty everywhere, and I was determined to fight it. That was many, many years ago. So even if everything feels like it's falling apart, you're probably actually falling together. And these red days and these kind of feelings are just part and parcel. It's a rite of passage in the markets, and you're going through it, which means keep on going. And I would also like to let the masterclass students that I know that I released LV20, and as promised yesterday, one thing I want to draw your attention to is the junk bond market. You can see junk bonds, which are basically high risk bonds. They've been falling through the floor, and we saw that with the bond price index in the US market. But just be aware, when this thing tends to kick up, it can actually kick up all the major indices as well. Just something to bear in mind. And I take about half an hour in LV20 to go through and explain all of these things. And for David's comment, really, really good comment, David. Don't fight the tides of your emotions. Freedom is found in directing your energy towards those things you can control and learning to let go of all that you cannot control. Sometimes you need to swim, and sometimes you need to just float. Very wise words, David, and thank you for sharing. And Dream6 said, the crueler the markets, the kinder Ken's videos. Thanks, mate. Much love to you too, my friend. Looking at the major cryptos, it's a bit of a bloodbath at the moment. Bitcoin lost its support and has broken down, and it's taken the entire crypto market with it. We can see that no alt escapes Bitcoin's gravity. But alts do over and under exaggerate positive and negative movements, so there are always opportunities, and that's what I'll show you all throughout this week. There are opportunities to do well, and you just do as well as the market gives you, and that's important to understand. You can control your trade and investment level, but the market will control your return. We can see Ethereum following Bitcoin's gravity, BNB doing the same, XRP following Bitcoin's gravity, Solana. But do you notice ADA, Cardano is showing strength? Go ADA. Let's have a look at Doge following Bitcoin's gravity, and DOT also following Bitcoin's gravity, but we're starting to see a bit of a kick up, and that's not surprising. Flamingo had a really beautiful statement, and always does. What you are sincerely grateful for multiplies, and a heart filled with gratitude paves the way for a peaceful life. Really beautiful words, Flamingo. At times like this, if you're in pain through your losses, maybe think about what you are grateful for in this world. It's really, really important to do. Like I said, when I was diagnosed and told that I was going to die, I just looked around and said, what am I grateful for? And I'm going to fight this. We can see Theta has maintained its strength, and this was really interesting because that profitable trade came out of Theta. So it just gives you some kind of understanding. Let's have a look at Waves. Waves is coming back to a support level. Could be interesting. That's showing a lot of strength. SHIB, just following Bitcoin's gravity. EGLD doing the same. Phantom, doing the same, but we can see it's got a bit of a slight kick up here at the moment. CHR, also following Bitcoin's gravity, but showing a little bit of strength. That's what we want to see. We want to see where the strength is coming out. LRC, following Bitcoin's gravity down, little bit of a kick. And KNC, following Bitcoin's gravity as well. Biddy had a really lovely quote, starting the day with gratitude and listing a few things you are thankful for can set the tone for your whole day. Thank you, Beardy. Attitude of gratitude. Very, very beautiful. Let's have a look at the metaverse, and we can see Sand following Bitcoin's gravity, Axie following Bitcoin's gravity. Ooh, what's Mana doing? Man is not following Bitcoin's gravity, it's showing strength. Keep your eye on that one. Gala, also following Bitcoin's gravity, but with a degree of strength. Engine, following Bitcoin's gravity down. Ape, following it down. Chili's, following it down, but a little bit of a kick up here. And GMT, very small kick up, but pretty interesting. JK Secret said something really nice. Gratitude is an attitude. Sometimes in life, when we hit rock bottom and when we think we have nothing, we are given the perfect opportunity to look at things that really matter, that we took for granted before. Being grateful for the simple things. It's actually being grateful for the most meaningful things, like every breath we take. And without breath, there is no life. When we start looking at life through a different lens of gratitude for the small things, we come to realize that they are big things like love, kindness, and compassion. They are powerful and above all, priceless. Really beautiful, and you can see what incredibly thoughtful and just fantastic people exist in our global community, our globally extended KS family. And I'm so appreciative of everybody that takes the time to share their wisdom with others. That's what it's really all about. Together, we're kinder and stronger. Looking at some more community favorites, we can see Stellar just was really strong previously, but it's following Bitcoin's gravity down. What happened to Stellar? Stellar, what happened to you? Bitcoin's gravity happened to Stellar. CRV coming down as well. AVAX coming down. Arweave moving in alignment with Bitcoin's gravity. This pattern recognition is literally the value of gold to you, because when you understand it, you'll see things and you need it reinforced every day. And that's what I do. It's kind of like a mini masterclass. Uni following Bitcoin's gravity down. And we can see FTT following Bitcoin's gravity down, but not as much. There is a degree of strength here. And what happened to Tron? Of course, no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. So we got to be fast with our trades, just taking them as we would, understanding that the market can turn against you. Signs of also shared something very beautiful. Gratitude, recognition of value independent of monetary worth. And this is really important. You are more than your money. You're much, much more. And Signs of broke it down a bit. The word attitude is a way of behaving, and in Irish, gra, is a liking or fondness for something. How beautiful. So it's a liking, fondness way of behaving. Of course, when you behave with gratitude, everything is brighter. The sun is brighter. The grass is more beautiful. People are more, everything is good. And so therefore, actually having an attitude of gratitude is totally worthwhile. And Signs of says, having gratitude and saying it out aloud every day. That's a really good point. Saying it aloud. What are you grateful for? What can you find in your life that you are grateful for? Every day, there's always something. It depends what we focus on. And saying it aloud every day will bring that leprechaun with that hidden pot of gold at the end of the rainbow out to you. Peace and love. Just beautiful. Let's have a look at some more community favorites. Near following Bitcoin's gravity, as is Matic. ICX following Bitcoin's gravity. VRA following, but not so much. Rose following Bitcoin's gravity. KSM following Bitcoin's gravity, but it's got a bit of a kick here. Quite interesting. IOTA following Bitcoin's gravity down. IOTEX also following Bitcoin's gravity. I'd like to thank everybody for their kind comments. It's really good to share not only where we think the market is going and other things, but also to share the positive excellence philosophy and real wealth philosophy. It's really important to do. Many people on days like today and the days that we've seen in the past look upon themselves as going through some kind of failure. It's not failure, it's just simply a learning experience. So I think what we'll do is we'll talk about learning in the next episode. So if you'd like to put any quotes up on learning, just sharing your thoughts and always have in mind of helping other people. That is really what it's all about. And there's very many experienced people in our community, and we've got about 15,700 people. So it's really beautiful to reach out and to share what you find is the opportunity to learn in this red. And there are great opportunities to learn. And thank you, Nenad, for your comment. Nenad said, I love Badger's comments about getting into the mix and truly learning how to manage emotions to deal with the uncertainty. Badger's comment from a previous episode was just start small and scale. You need to handle the emotional content of what is going on. You need to participate and you need to learn and grow. And it's absolutely correct what Badger said. The state of the crypto market is a great opportunity to learn. And at times like this, it's all about learning. When things are blowing up in a positive direction, nobody cares too much about learning. They talk about the next X number coming up, but it's not the way professionals act. Professionals are always learning, and when everybody is getting so incredibly positive about things, they worry. And when people are getting so incredibly negative about things, they say, the dance floor seems to be cleared, and now we'll get in for a longer term accumulation. But don't forget, you can also BORSOG at any time. And Lila, thank you so much for your very beautiful comment, and thank you everyone for your contributions to our global family. I hope you found the content useful. Please consider sharing and liking this video and also subscribing to the channel. We would love to have you as part of our globally extended KS family. Thank you very much to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers, and the CTKS ambassadors for assisting Masterclass students. And of course, a very big thank you to you for watching and for being part of our global family. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. I've left helpful links in the description of this video, such as the tax software I use, and a link to the CryptoTradingKS Masterclass, and you can always reach out and directly message me at any time on Twitter. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now.